when we blame others for the things we are supposed to do for ourselves. My question is, because our government finds it difficult to fund research institutions and research organizations, and so we are left to use our salaries as a means of carrying out research, which does not solve much of a problem. In that instance, how do we survive? Because it is actually really difficult for us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Moses Ekong. Funding is a big problem to researchers and teachers, because teachers, we need pedagogists, we need a lot of things to support our learning objectives. If I take it from my personal experience, I had to support my research at some point as an individual. When I learned the art of marketing my research, I started getting funding. And now I have funding at all times to support my research. So you really need to bend down to learn the art of marketing research. Is very important. In fact, it's more important than the research, the marketing. And the institutions, like I said, build institutions and build individual capacities. So the institutions also need to be making advocacy to government, to private industry, to also foundations to come in and make investments. What is your research targeting? And the research managers in our different institutions should be doing a very good job of collecting research, the types of research done in their institutions, and finding the users. Because every research has a user. So who would be the end user of the product of your research? So if they begin to talk to those persons, engage them with findings, and people are able to learn science communication skills to explain the research. A lot of us do good research, but they can't explain it. Yeah? They may publish it in good journals, but they can't explain it. They can't convince a non-expert about what they've done. So we need to build capacity of researchers. Now we don't have to pay people to tell our stories. We tell it better by ourselves. So I think one is on the institutional management, the administration of different institutions, to begin to highlight research management and research administration is very important. What is the institution doing? Even the ranking of the institutions we're seeing globally is because the research managers and research administrators are doing great jobs, harnessing what the institution is able to do, and then pushing them out to the right audience. So when you push out your research only to journals, you don't know how many people read journals, maybe only academics and some correspondence in science magazines and all of that. So you need to think about the consumer of your product or service and find a way to get to them. This is important. So you have to start from somewhere, but talk to build, I've said one thing, build your capacity and then build the institutional capacity.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, good.
Okay. Professor Kwanachi.
Oh, thank you very much. I want to thank and appreciate Dr. Eucharia Nwaichi for this excellent presentation. So this is a comment. I had privately spoken with the president of WASP and the LOC chair that we need to add lectures like this between the scientific ones. So in every 2 lectures, for instance, one should be something that is more broad-based and open us to ideas and techniques that many of us are not used to. Now we are being forced by COVID-19 to confront many issues. This is not to praise myself, but just to let people know that many things are possible. For 3 to 4 years, I've been using Zoom in my teaching, in postgraduate classes and other small classes that I have, and also flipping my classes. And people were wondering what I was doing. But we should know that henceforth, even when things return to normal, they will never really be normal again. We have to do some kind of hybridization. So we need to go out and learn some of these skills, some informally, others more formally. I wonder whether you have an education qualification, but I really, really benefited a lot from your presentation. And one of the key things I'm taking away is that playing the victim is no longer valid, it has long expired. We need to move out and do things for ourselves if nobody is ready to help us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prof.
Okay, the next Professor Wunari Judgewell. Judgewell there. Okay. Judgewell there.
Yeah, your microphone is off. Professor George, can you turn off the microphone?
Turn off your microphone, Professor
So
Judgewell.
we can hear you.
Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself, Professor Judgewell. Okay, Daniel Doshu.
Thank you
Okay,
very
go
much.
ahead.
Thank you very much, Pro, for those presentation. I really benefited from this presentation. What I would like to suggest, just as the presenter presented towards the end of the lecture, the need to stay together. We must make progress. There's need for us to ensure implementation. We need to work together. These technological tools are not we are not easily used to them in this part of the world. So I would like to suggest that faculties that are closer, we should put a monitoring system to ensure that we really take this into action, not just we finish and then we pack this thing into one place. There's need for us to implement them and ensure that we assist one another in the implementation of some of these tools in learning. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Daniel.
Professor Judgewell.
Yes, let me thank the speaker for this wonderful seminar. My worry is just that the post-COVID-19 era, we all know that finances are down. Some countries are going to recession. Are there ways we can reduce the cost of research? Or research will have to still go in an astronomical, very high order because of the circumstances we find ourselves now? Can we do research with lesser money? Thank you.
Thank you, Professor George. Yeah, it's an interesting question. The COVID-19 is here. Like I said, he never informed us it was coming, and we should be able to go resilient. Like I said yesterday, we're having green chemistry conference. So we're looking for ways to bring down costs while being more efficient and being sustainable in what we do. Like for those of us who use chemicals, even most of the persons here use chemicals, reusing chemicals. So, and also finding some of the chemicals from waste like onions, scales, different things we're thinking about instead of procuring reagents from different sources. So that is now a time for us to do critical thinking, you know. And if we use the theory of constraints I had thought about, and now finding the most important issues. Because if you ask people to say issues, they're going to give you 1,001 issues affecting them. But you need to go a step further to ask questions, are they real? You need to test some of those. When you test it, you find some of them will be dropped. They're not real. Some persons just have generic problems. Each time you ask them, they repeat the same thing. It's not really affecting them, but because they know it's a problem somewhere and they adopt it. So we have to solve, let's go for the research that is very necessary at this point. basic research is important, but they're not very expensive most times. Yeah. So we need to work around what we have, and with the collaboration that we are promoting here. If you have this, I have this, we come together and that research becomes big but less expensive, because I didn't have to reinvent the wheel. You know, what my colleague has done in Ghana, I'm doing it again. Why don't I take the raw data? If people are using open access data, you know, now you can publish your data without being a paper. You can publish paper and a lot of data is still there. You can publish the data. So I can get access to your paper, your data, and move from there. So I have saved a lot of money by using your data and making progress. So let's know our strength. It's very good to do our profiling, to know who is where, and what you're doing there. Let's continue to populate our profile online. If we have a directory of those who are doing one thing or the other. And now science is becoming, is interdisciplinary. Even when you're a pharmacologist, you also may be a chemist. You also may be a public health person. So list all your skills so we can leverage on existing skills and make research less expensive.
Thank you very much. So the last one we are taking, Professor Reozolwa.
Thank you. Thank you, Speaker. Thank you, organizers. I've gained tremendously from this presentation. I really do not have questions. I have been deploying technology in my research, my presentations, but I think that if you want to call it a question, how do we entrench this in our settings? All right. One thing that I think that the speaker has brought out clearly is that where there is a will, there is a way. And so with COVID-19 facing off, I suppose that we can all go back. Those of us who are a little bit savvy in this technology, see how we sell this to our colleagues, perhaps by holding departmental seminars, trainings, and so on and so forth. And I suppose that the presentation, the slides, will be available to every one of us to reflect on. And then this will also be starting points for helping us to pass knowledge to our colleagues who have not been able to participate in this presentation. So thank you, Chairman. Thank you, organizers. Most of all, thank you, presenter. I thoroughly enjoyed the presentation. Thank you, everyone.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Okay, we have some few questions for you, about 4 or 5 of them. The first one is, at what point in research is collaboration most essential? At what point in research is collaboration most essential?
Thank you. Research collaboration, it becomes most essential when you have grown the skill as a doctor, as a PhD holder. So pre-PhD, you are trying to learn. So you're looking for opportunities where you do more of training to grow as an independent researcher. So when you have a PhD, it's assumed that you're now becoming independent. And then you can go grow skills in other things and also train others on your skills. That's why you go for postdoc. You go and become more strengthened and also learn research management, because if you're a PhD under your supervisor, under all of that. So sometimes you can evolve and do management of research. So at that point, you can decide what you want. You decide, and it's good to stay on your PhD research and maybe extend tentacles here and there, but not to leave completely, because some persons don't have a research field. When you ask them, what is your basic research area? They do not have basic research area, because when they hear money is here, funding is here, they run to the place. Funding is the other way, they run to that place. You have to have your core area. Then with the interdisciplinary nature of research, you can extend your tentacles here, there, and become more broad, a researcher. So at that point, you need collaboration, because it becomes more expensive to grow every skill you need. So you have to leverage on some person's skills and maybe better laboratories or better equipment where they have it, if you have contact with those persons. And because people want you to help them when they help you. Some of us, like we say, the era of victim, playing the victim is over. So if you're always a victim, the person who is helping you will get tired. You run the person down. So we have to grow skills to be able to collaborate effectively. So at that point of getting a PhD, you should begin, because in the course of research, literature review, you go in for information, you meet a lot of people, and you find some of them very useful. You keep contact, you leverage technology, email, write them email, how are you doing? You find opportunity, I saw this opportunity, you came to my mind. Do you care about it or something? So this is how to build relationship. If you're waiting for when you need them, you call them or send them email, I want you to be on this project now. You may not get them interested because there is no relationship. So let's begin to build a relationship, not parasitic relationship, okay? So where you can give me, I can give you. I may give more, but knowing that you bring something to the table is more reassuring and is a better way of relating in science. So begin the collaboration as soon as your capacity for research has been built. But unfortunately, some of our PhD holders also don't have the capacity built, even with the PhD in the region. Is true. So you now go, try to be sincere as a researcher. Don't always try to pretend that because I am at this level in the university or in the research institution, I'm a director, but I don't have what it takes to be a director. If you must define the roles of a director, you go to the person who has what you're looking for and get it. So you can be proud of what you do, and whenever the call comes, the call to duty, you rise to it without giving excuses. Because when you give a lot of excuses, your collaborators will run away believing that you're empty. When they call for a meeting, you need to present, everybody present, situation report. You don't have what to present. So you run away or give excuses, you know. So let's try to be sincere in research. There is no late comers, okay? There's no late comer syndrome. So anytime you begin is your morning. So man, know thyself, and then you can make strong collaborations.
Thank you very much, Dr. Eucharia. So I would like to hand over to the chairman of the session.
Many thanks again to our guest lecturer. And we had very interesting discussion. I want to thank those who have contributed recently for the interaction. And finally, I will also Madam President for giving me the opportunity to chair this session. Thank you once again. President has the last. So President Ma.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone, for being present at this seminar. Our special guest, our motivational speaker. You have enlightened us so much. You have nourished us with information that will keep the West African region going for a long time. Thank you very, very much. We appreciate you. You have told us what needs to change, what we need to change, what we need to do as the West African region, what we need to do in our various institutions, what we need to do as individuals. We have to grow our incentives. We have to continue to look at our curriculum. We have to improve our communication skills, and we have to improve on the technology that we have now, leverage on the technology to do many things. So we look forward to a better future with the information that you have given us today. We have been enriched, we are grateful, and as you have heard from many of the contributors, it has been a wonderful day for all of us. So we will continue to build capacity in the region. We continue to stay together. We will continue to collaborate and build our skills. Thank you very much, Dr. Nwaichi. And thank you to everybody who has participated in this seminar, in this webinar. Thank you very much. We appreciate you.
Thank you
So,
very much.
Dr. Makaji, please give us the closing remarks.
Okay, thank you very much, Madam President. On behalf of the local organizing committee of WASOP webinar series, we want to thank the presenter, Dr. Eucharia Nwaichi, the chairman of the occasion, Professor Enam Danjuma, and the WASOP ESCO for entrusting us with this responsibility to organize the WASOP webinar series. And to all the participants, we want to thank you for creating time to join. I want to believe that you really enjoy your serving part of this great occasion. Next, very soon you receive our invitation for the third edition of the WASOP webinar series, and we hope you are going to join us in our subsequent edition. I want to thank each and every one of us for coming, and I wish you all the best. Yeah? See you next time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody.